Hello there, my Piscean collective sun, moon, rising signs. Welcome to your What Do I Need read for this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius, January 2020. Happy New Year! You are my last read of this series. I'm going to be doing the Path of True Love readings next, and guess what? You go first. Yay! I am a Pisces moon. Oh, if you're new to the channel, I am your reader, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, president of DrawingTheCircle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, Virgo, Sun, Pisces, Moon, Leo, rising. Yay. Not that you care. But I love reading my Pisceans, so that's why I kind of love reading you last, sort of leaving the best for last, but then I love that I start with you on the next one. You know, that's how I roll, to be fair, right? So if you are new to the channel, please do like and subscribe. I'm trying to make my way to 1,000 subscribers so that I can do super live chat, make a little coin on the side, which I think would be a lot of fun, as well as I promised my subscribers to do a little thing called Drunk Tarot. There's a link in the description box below to a video that I did called Clarifying Drunk Tarot, so that I wouldn't have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again. Go watch it. It is my favorite video of 2019 that I did. I watched it a few times. It makes me chuckle. So considering I just got off the phone with a client, this is my last one for the day and the series. So I figured, took a minute, connected with my crystals. I got a whole new box of crystals in my orchid back there. Yes, I can keep an orchid alive. I've got a green thumb. So I figured let's do this last one and go out on a high note if we can. Cool, cool. A couple of things before we get down to the read. This is a general read. Please do check your other signs. Nothing can resonate with everybody all the time. So even if I read you for filth last time, if it doesn't work this time, just check your other signs. That's why I do sun, moon, rising. Usually you get pieces of the puzzle, and that's what I do even in my own readings that I'm watching myself later on. Like I'll go back and look at Virgo, Leo, Pisces, and be like, oh, yeah, that's, yeah, right. So put some stuff in your watch later. You'd be surprised. Let's see what else. Please remember to breathe. So very, very, very important to do so as we do this, because a What Do I Need reading is a little bit different. It's sort of like checking an oracle. You know, like putting a card a day, or a rune for the day, or a tarot for the day, right? To give you some context, right? But this is a little different. This is asking the divine through divination systems. All the systems I use are in the description box below at the very bottom. Asking the divine through a system, what do I need? Now, usually you could do that every day. Absolutely. What a brilliant way of going about a daily initiation of practice, right? That based on whatever you draw, making that your focus or your practice for the day. But this is different. We're doing it for half a moon cycle, from a full to new moon. So the waning, so even the cards that we're only pulling 6 cards, 1 card from 6 different decks, like I like to do, because that's how I read myself, honestly. Like one of these, one of these, one of these, one of these, and it, it spells it out. But the waning moon is tricky. It is about letting go. We don't like the waning as much as we like the waxing, right? And those 3 days before new moon, honey, dark of the moon. Tricky, tricky, tricky. I try not to leave the house if I can avoid it, right? Just go right in and pray and let go and forgive everything that I can. Yeah. Alrighty, so I guess that's about it. Please remember to breathe. You stay in the present moment. I'll stay in the present moment. We'll both be tuning to the chi, the prana, the guidance, and the grace, even though we're separated by time and space. Oh, that rhymed. So you breathe. You'll hear me say every now and again, breathe, just so that I slow it down a little bit and I don't steamroller the viewer. Nice deep breath. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, gods, goddesses, masters, and the higher selves of all involved, my own included, please, 1 card in clarity for the Piscean collective sun, moon, rising signs for this new moon, full moon in Cancer. Been doing that all day. Full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius. What is the dominant archetype that the Piscean collective will either be embodying or dealing with in some way with someone in some form? Dominant archetype, dominant soul power to be alchemized from lead to gold. What are we doing? Oh my God, the Messiah archetype. Holy crap. Talk about a Pisces. You know, Jesus' sign was the fish because of the age of Pisces. That's a little heavy duty, a little Christ consciousness-y for a witch. But, you know, hey, it's all one. Right at the end of the day, it's all the quantum field. It's a little heavy duty to start off with, right? Because can you think of the shadow attribute? Now, if you're new to these readings and these cards, Caroline Myss is one of my favorite spiritual teachers on planet Earth. Never met her, but have read her books. She's amazing. She saved my life in so many ways over the decades, right? She's a little intimidating, to be honest. She's one of the people who intimidate me on the planet. There aren't that many, I think. You know, you never know who you're going to meet. But anyway, she's the author of these cards. Go read Sacred Contracts and Entering the Castle and Anatomy of the Spirit. You'll see what I mean. Not to mention why people don't heal and how they can. Every archetype is neutral, lead and gold, shadow and light. So I'm going to read both sides so that you get that there's a soul power here being defined in a what do we need. So we need the Messiah archetype, maybe within, including myself because I'm a Pisces moon, right? Might be in ourselves, but might also be as an external archetypal experience. We'll see how it goes. The shadow attribute. Exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. I don't have that. Not anymore, I don't. If I ever did, I had that beaten out of me. Yeah, so one more time I'll read that. Exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which a cause can succeed. No. The light attribute, serving humanity with humility. There we go. The grace of humility is my saving grace, dearest goddess, maiden goddess. Grant me the grace of humility to know that I do not know when I do not know. So that I am willing, but I'm willing to be shown. And so that I ask to be shown, right? Hence divination systems, hence the very, have the grace of humility to ask the divine, what do I need, right? Because it's like a little kid saying, I don't know, what do I need? The divine says, here, try this, right? Very, very powerful divine family archetype. There are different families of archetypes. Obviously, this is in the divine thing, the divine family. A bit of a throw me for a loop, because it is just very, very powerful, and it's not like you think of somebody with a messiah complex. That's the shadow part of it, right? It's like, oh, you have such a messiah. It's like you're the only one who can save us, right? Different than a rescuer, different than a healer. The messiah, it's just a different ballgame altogether. So whether that's within you or dealing with someone or something, like maybe an organization, maybe a corporation, maybe any number of different things can have that archetype, because that's what archetypes are like. What we're going to do is we're going to use Chuck Spezzano Love Pack, half of it, just the suit of problems, right? Because there's problem, luck, grace, and healing, 4 suits. I was told to just take the problem suit so that we could key into the shadow attribute, get a little clue as to what that's about, or at least how it appears from the Masters, right? This is the deck that I use for the Masters. Because it is waning moon, right? We want to alchemize this stuff, the shadow, bringing it into light. So nice deep breath. Yeah, because I got that feeling in my tummy-tum. Solar plexus too. My Masters, please, one card in clarity for the Piscean collective. Sun, Moon, Rising sign. They're saying breathe, Mark. Please, one card in clarity for the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs for this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius. Clarifying the Messiah card. What is the problem, the shadow here for the Piscean collective? Infidelity. That's weird. Now, I'm going to see what other cards come down, particularly when we're only pulling one tarot card. I want to see what card comes up. So before I go in right in there and say sexual infidelity, which is what is depicted in the card, and yes, I got that weird feeling in my tummy tum-tum, let's make sure before I say that's definitely what it is, because that's not going to be for everybody in the collective. You know what I mean? Like, that's perhaps a percentage, but because that could very easily mean infidelity in terms of, like think the Marines, right? It's like fidelis, right? Honor, about your honor code, about not being your fidelity to your truth, to yourself, to your higher conduct, to your honor code, right? To what you know to be better, to your, here's the word that just dropped into my head, conscience. Not your consciousness, your conscience, right? It's like that sort of fidelity. Let's have a look. Let's see what the angels have to say about this. This is because that's a bit of a gut kick, but can I tell you, all of these What Do I Need reads have been this way this time. Maybe it's just because, nah, it's because it's waning moon. look where we are in the world right now. I'm not going there. Breathe, my fishy brothers and sisters, breathe for me. My angels, thank you, my angels, please, one card in clarity for the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising signs. What do we need for this full moon in Cancer, starting off in a water sign, feeling it coming, to new moon in Aquarius, January 2020. We've got the Messiah archetype with infidelity, please. The healing angel, healing with the angels oracle, with angels of healing in particular. No, if it was one, I would have taken it. It was two. Please, the angels. The healing with the angels oracle, Doreen Virtue, please. One card. There we go. For the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising. Focus. Focus. Focus on the infidelity of serving humanity with humility, or the exaggerated belief that you're the only means through which a cause can succeed. Because infidelity is also about loyalty, obviously, right? So it's like loyalty to a cause, loyalty to someone who has perhaps that kind of power in a situation, if it's not you, where you might have to break away if it is a toxic shadow Messiah archetype at work. Let's see. This is the one we're waiting for. We're waiting for the Daughters of the Moon. Now, usually, or I have been for the past couple of months, only using Daughters of the Moon to represent the voices of the goddess, or if you like, the divine feminine energy, which is half of the energy of all of existence. It's a bit lofty for a deck of cards, I admit, but, you know, hey, and I've been using the Mythic Tarot for the masculine, the god energy. This deck, they were like, do both with the Daughters of the Moon Tarot, Fiona Morgan, which is how I started doing these readings anyway, at least online. So let's have at it, shall we? Nice deep breath. Let's find out from the gods and goddesses. Who for me, in the throne of Pisces, is Diana, the great full moon mother, and Circe, the alchemist, the transformer, the seductress, the siren, turning men to pigs since the Bronze Age. Of course she's in my pantheon. Oh, my gods and goddesses, please, one card in clarity for this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising sign. For this full moon in Cancer to this new moon in Aquarius, January 2020, please. My goddesses, what does the Piscean collective need, considering Messiah, infidelity, and focus? Please, a card to clarify a piece of your divine guidance and grace. Thank God, it's the star. Okay, so that there is guidance, there is grace. Focus on the star. Now, I'm not talking about follow your dreams, follow your star. That's often how you get hooked into getting a shadow messiah, right? Somebody who promises the world but has some shady shit going on. Remember, if we're in bodies, we are all carrying shadows, except, you know, I always say the Dalai Lama, right? Like, I'm sure there's like a handful of people who just like conquered the shadow, fully enlightened. That's great. I'm in Long Island. I'm not bumping into them that often. So to really say, this is like really saying, focus on your highest, focus on, to me, in any tarot deck, this is just a personal way that I read. The star is the most spiritual card in the deck, as transcendent as it gets, higher, technically in altitude, than the sun or the moon. And it's something that you fix yourself to. It is like an honor code. It's like, I'm going to walk the high road and I'm going to pray my way through it if I have to. So a very mystical card as well, the card of the star. So at least it's a major arcana, but it does kind of highlight that Messiah, right? It sort of makes sense, but with infidelity, that's the shadow side of that. It's like, ugh, it's like so right here in my belly. I don't usually get it that viscerally, but, you know, I'm a Pisces moon, or else they're going to hit me. In my feet. I have gorgeous feet, by the way. Thought you'd like to know? Probably not. Nice deep breath. They're going to ask the higher selves, my own included, please. The higher selves of all involved. One card in clarity for the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising sign. What do we need this new moon in Cancer to, this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius, January 2020? We've got the Messiah card with infidelity, with focus, with the star. For Whisper of Love, the Whisper of Love Oracle, I'm asking, please, higher selves of all involved. We need a whisper of love. What do we need? What do we need? Demonstrate love. This one came up in a reading today. Demonstrate love. Find out what is important to the people you love and act on it. Well, again, if that is really what this infidelity is about, if it is about that sort of romantic love thing, and the Messiah archetype trying to, in its light, serve humanity with humility, that's going to be a rough patch. But if there is an exaggerated belief that they are the only means through which a cause can succeed in a relationship, demonstrate love. Someone's got to bust a move, and action has to be taken. Things have to be brought into the light, and that needs to be done by serving the entire situation with serving humanity with humility. There has to be a humanitarian part of this, and then the infidelity has to be cleared up, if that's the situation. But I'm not feeling that for everybody. This kind of feels more like if you are in a situation where you are dealing with a Messiah complex in any negative way. And again, it doesn't have to be spiritual religious. Like, anybody can have that sense of entitlement where they think they are the only means through which the day can be saved. That's the ego. And if it is in a spiritual context, it's the spiritual ego, which is just the ego learned spiritual metaphysical language, right? It's got a lot of shadow behind it. To demonstrate love, find out what is important to the people you love and act on it, then do that for yourself, right? You know, it's like if you are in that situation, or if you are the one, make sure, if you are the one who really has that feeling, I'm the only one who can do this, because sometimes it really does look that way, like it all falls upon us. Well, then if that is the case, really get your focus into your higher, the star. Can you get more fifth dimensional unity consciousness? The star that we are, going back to Solara and the 1111, who I worked for in the 90s, long fucking story. Solara, just like the Toyota, although she had the name before they did. Then absolutely make sure you're serving with humility. Know that you do not know. Humility does not mean that you're nothing. It means that you're perfect because the gods created you that way, but you didn't write. I didn't write the character. I did not write the character of Markangelo Lyons. My soul was chosen to play the role of Markangelo Lyons this time around. Otherwise, the soul is genderless, birthless, deathless, sinless, guiltless, right? Demonstrate love. Come from that place. Fucking love everybody. Find out what's important to them and act accordingly. Which sometimes, and I said this in the other readings that this was in, sometimes just listening to somebody. Like, when you're on the phone and you just want to check out, like somebody calls you and you're just like, same story over and over. To really choose to be in the present moment and say, no, I am here. I'm going to demonstrate love, and I'm not going to exact a price for it. I'm not going to say, listen to how well I'm listening to you. No, you're just going to be there. Even if you're just deepening your breath and blessing them as you go, that's going to be aligning with the star. And there's so much healing energy in the card of the star anyway, but it feels like, remember what messiahs do. They're saviors, they're healers, but large scale usually. Thankfully, we have one card left, and it's the new deck, the Healing Mantra deck by Matt Kahn, K-A-H-N, because some people do spell it K-H-A-N, so that's why I always spell it. These are amazing because they are healing. I've had them for under a month. I haven't even owned them a month yet. On one side of the card is the name of the mantra, which is good so that I can look it up alphabetically in the book, which I'm going to do anyway. And then the other side of the card is the mantra itself. And as I've said for every single one of these, they are like lightsabers in cardboard form. They really, really are. They've been very, very helpful for me. But remember, a mantra and an affirmation are not the same thing. The procedures of application might be the same, but the intention is different. An affirmation is usually a statement of truth. You're trying to normalize and make yourself believe, right? Like, I am... because I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. Sorry, I had to go there. Thanks, guys. It was really funny. Sorta. A mantra, which is why I prefer the Sanskrit version, right? Is it's like a code that you repeat over and over and over. It's like toning or oming or chanting. Well, people chant mantras, right? But these are in English. So let's do this. Now we started. We're double dipping with the Masters. The Masters gave us this card of infidelity. So this is Matt Kahn and the Masters. Here we go. Nice deep breath. I have a feeling I'm going to be working this one for the rest of the week, if not for the next 2 weeks. Still point. My Masters, please. One card in clarity for this Piscean collective sun, moon, rising signs for this full moon in Cancer to new moon in Aquarius. What do we need, considering that the collective has said the Messiah archetype? We need to look at that within ourselves or in another. The Masters have said infidelity, but that need not necessarily be sexual infidelity, and honestly, there are other cards that could have come up to clarify it that way, so I don't think I'm not feeling, maybe it's a small percentage, but not all of it, my Masters. The angels are saying focus, so at least we know to focus on this, that it will be a focus, or it will take focus. And the card of the star, such powerful spirit here, really about coming into alignment, right? Coming into alignment with our highest vibration we can, our highest truth, our highest virtue, and to demonstrate love. That all goes in alignment with the Messiah archetype, except that card of infidelity, which even Jesus stumbled. So please, my Masters, no tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. One card for the Piscean collective sun, moon, rising sign for this new moon to full moon next. I called in a favor. I'm a Pisces moon. Our mantra, acknowledging apprehension. Fuck balls. Acknowledging apprehension. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no. Bitch. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no. Oh my God, that's totally talking about that feeling you get, right? Acknowledging apprehension when there's this, and I was feeling it too, that feeling of apprehension. God, these cards are fucking amazing. Considering how little is written on the cards. Well, I mean, there's really nothing. The word the star is written on that one. You know what I'm saying. Acknowledging apprehension. Oh, breathe, my fishy brethren and sistren, if that's a word. Hey. Acknowledging apprehension. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no. When apprehension is acknowledged, you become aware of a constant back and forth between polarities. Yes. As this back and forth movement occurs, it can feel nearly impossible to make decisive, empowering choices. As you acknowledge any apprehension, recognize that either it is your heart trying to warn you of an old choice or pattern you're about to repeat, or it is a sense of unworthiness that makes you unsure about how to step into the biggest stage you dream of commanding. A little Messiah-esque, don't you think? The power of discernment bubbles closer to the surface the more often your apprehensions are acknowledged, and it is needed to determine which of these two options is true. This mantra is ideal for resolving indecisiveness, balancing impulsive behaviors, that's a good one, and trusting your instincts. So when it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When it's no, when I'm unsure, it's always a no. So to pay attention to the apprehension, it's like, well, I don't know. Then the answer is no, at least for right now. And so is that what the infidelity is about? Oh my God, I got it. We're Pisceans, right? It's like we go with our gut, right? You know, we are the most, I'm not going to say we're the most intuitive sign. Let's not get the Scorpios and the Cancerians angry at us, but we are. We're the 12th house. We're the collective unconscious. We're essentially the quantum field itself, but through an emotional lens, right? It's pretty heavy duty, that infidelity, because if we don't do that, we might end up in this shadow side, or if that's what we're dealing with, if you really feel like it's you are the savior right? You are the Messiah. The only way this can work itself out, then you really have to look at, are you being true to your gut? Are you paying, if you go in there and feel that, is that really true? Can you feel that in your soul? And to really focus on that, because this is about spiritual alignment. This is about hope. This is about a higher vibration. This is about fifth dimensional unity consciousness. You can't have more separate than it's me or nobody. I'm the only one. No, we're all one, not only one, right? And to demonstrate love, because we're going to talk Messiah energy. I mean, the Messiah just means the Savior, right? In a way, the messenger of this truth and this light. We all need to be that in our lives right now, but certainly we're not the only ones. I'm the only one. That's the Highlander, right? Such a good movie. Demonstrate love. And then, of course, we've got our, this is amazing, acknowledging apprehension. When it's a yes, nothing can stop me. When I'm unsure, it's always a no. I would commit that to memory anyway, you know, just to remind yourself, particularly as a Pisces, we get so much through the lower three chakras, right? And where do you feel apprehension? Maybe you get a little pitter-patter in the heart. But if you notice, for me at least, if it's dealing with the physical world, or anybody in it, it's lower three chakras. That was just amazing. My Piscean collective sun, moon, rising signs, my mer people, my mer family, my mermens, my Ethel mermens. I love you all so much. May the Piscean collective sun, moon, rising signs be blessed with all that they need for this full moon to new moon next January 2020, that we may grow, that we may heal, that we may trust our gut, that we may read our intuition clearly, that we may serve humanity with humility by demonstrating love and being the best that we can be and fulfilling our role in the divine plan for the well-being of all. And so it is. Thank you, my Pisceans. I do this every reading now. I love you guys. Hi. Let's do the wave. Kind of, sort of. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. I love you all so very, very much. But for now, Happy New Year. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.